And I will take the whole thing off as an assembly. Hard to show it to you earlier, but turning this is very stiff. And there we are. You want to tell me why they're failing? I mean, they're blowing up. Updates are in order. Alright, boys and girls, there's the old turbo. Okay, boys and girls, so here is the new oil supply line to the new turbo. It has a flexible line now. That way I guess it doesn't heat, flex, and crack anymore. And then we have the gaskets, O-rings, adapter for the new line, everything ready to go for your new turbo. All right, and we have our new turbo. Oh, it's a reman, not a new turbo, but nonetheless. Have to keep the old box because the core has to go back in it. There is old and crummy. Here is new niceness. God, how nice they look when they're new. There you can see how nice that spins. As opposed to cartridge is definitely going out on that one, no doubt about it. But that's how they go, nice and brand new. Alright, so now rebox the old one, take her out to Caterpillar, get my core money back, which is, by the way, $900. I will also show you this. I bought this used off of Facebook Marketplace, but it's the wrong AR ratio. It's close, but everything is a little different. The snail is a little different. I'll spin it for you. This was used. The guy that sold this to me took it off in good condition, or usable condition. I think he bought a PDI. Anyway, there was a difference. It primarily is just the fitment of it is off. See the length? Look at the difference of the air intake. This one's longer than the other, but also the length of the intake. This one's short, that one's narrow and long. So there is a difference. This did come off of a B model Cat. This did come off of a 3406B. but there is a different variant in the different Bs. Mine's a 7FB. I don't know what this one is. So I'll sell this one. Anybody who wants it. I paid $300. I'll take $300. I ain't making no money on it. Guess we can wrap it in that bag. Caterpillar we go. Alrighty, boys and girls, so there is a difference in the tube that feeds the oil to the turbo, and this part here is also different. So I have to thread this part out of this manifold that bolts to the engine block. Unfortunately, this piece, well, I don't know when the last time it was taken off, but I never took it off. So hopefully it doesn't give me any issues. This is where you pray. I'm worried about this aluminum or cast being broke off. Okay, well, it came out reasonably well. Same as on the other one. And there's an O-ring that goes in here. It's hard as rock though. This end here has an O-ring. See that little notch right there? There's an O-ring that goes in there, but that faces up towards the supply side of the turbo, the new tube. This O-ring just goes over like so into the bottom, and then this threads into your block. Little manifold piece. Would you know, it's bigger than one. Let's try 1 1/16. That it is. Just be on a safe side, we'll cover that up, because next I have to clean the mating surface where the snail goes on the exhaust manifold, and then up here this needs to be cleaned off as well. Okay, boys and girls, I already off camera put the new O-ring on there. Actually, I installed it off camera. I forgot to press record. So all you do is you stick it in like that. It fits in real easy. Now let me get the turbo in the gasket and muscle it in there. Okay, so now the fun part's putting the new one in there. So what I have here is a new bolt, a new nut, and a brand new gasket right there. Oops. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bolt in backwards for the time being. That's just to hold the alignment. It's not going to be that way forever. I'm going to put the gasket on and let it swivel. Next, I'm going to put the turbo on. I guess that didn't work so good. Set that there. So I got to get it in the exhaust pipe and on the flange. and then fish gasket in. When I put this on when the engine was rebuilt, I didn't have the exhaust pipe on the truck yet. There we go. Second bolt is in. I'll just thread the nut on. Easier said than done. Okay, boys and girls, so now that I have two in the truck, I'm going to go ahead and coat the new bolts on the bottom with Never Seez. I'm going to coat up to the shoulder so the bolt doesn't get stuck in the turbo. I mean, you shouldn't have to change turbos every other year, so you really don't want these things getting stuck in there either. So I'll thread this one in the bottom. Put the nut on it. That one's threaded on. The next one on the bottom. Yeah, I don't know. Some of you guys are like, oh, I shouldn't put that on there. Others like, ah, you need to put more. I don't know. I usually put it on exhaust and I slather it on. Then again, you guys did see how easy my exhaust came off too. Granted, it was only on there a year, maybe a year and a half-ish. But still, one likes monkeying around with parts that are stuck, right? Take this bolt out. That's the one I put in backwards for an alignment. Excellent. It's still easier from the bottom. Or not. Excellent. See, now this will twist also because I loosened that clamp. Big thing for me now is just to tighten it up to the manifold right now. I'm gonna worry about the rest later. These nuts are like a lock washer. They're mechanical. Gravity works. Now these nuts act like a type of lock washer, but they're not a lock washer or even a Nylox. Think about it, on the exhaust, if it was a Nylox, the nylon would melt. So basically you just peen a thread over and that holds it from loosening up. It's reasonably tight to get the other ones down. The book calls for 41 plus or minus 4 foot-pounds of torque. I've got my torque wrench set for 45 foot-pounds. So that's what we're going to do. The bottom two I can get easy with the torque wrench. Just a long extension is all I need. So now that I've gotten them snug down, I'll go ahead and torque them. What I want to do is get this top one up here with the torque wrench. So I have to get it maybe direct. I think a deep roll will do me better. I'm going to try the littlest extension. Granted, I'm already going from 1/2 inch down to 3/8. But that ought to help. Oh yeah, nice. Real nice. By the way, the book does call for never seize. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, so now, all right, boys and girls, so now the game plan is to attach the oil return line to the bottom of the turbo, because that's the last hard line. So we'll put our gasket in there. And it says Caterpillar AF. That was a joke. Caterpillar AF. I guess they're proud. Why not, right? Now the cartridge is still loose. I can still spin it to change its clock position if I need to. Just threading these bolts up in there, making damn sure I don't roll that gasket one way or the other. So that being tight will help me clock the turbo cartridge properly. And we're just going to snug them down. We're not going to crank on them yet. Okay, boys and girls, so now I'm tightening up the clamp between the cartridge and the exhaust nail. It says to tighten in foot-pounds, like 13 foot-pounds. Comes out to right around 18 Newton meters. I have an inch-pounds here, which comes out to about an inch-pounds. I set it for 175. That's a little tight, but not really tight. pretty damn tight. So now that's done. I snug these down, tighten that. So now we loosen this one here, and then I could start trying to set the clock position for the intake tube. So it's really easy, just like the other one. You simply back it off a little, and then it spins with ease once you loosen it up enough. Once you loosen it up enough, she'll spin with ease. See? That'll spin nice and easy. By the way, you can stick your hand in there and spin it. Spins free. That's how you know this is assembled right and there's no problems. I'm going to tighten that right about there so I can get the new intake tube in it. Alrighty, boys and girls, so now it's the next day actually. I'm gonna go ahead and take these O-rings out and replace them with new ones. Excellent. There we go. Okay, boys and girls, so now what I've done is I've lubricated the O-rings with some fresh motor oil, and now I'm just going to put it in. It's going to sit like this once it gets up in there. So we're just going to simply turn it this way. I've already locked down this band clamp here. This way it should just go in pretty easy without too much fussing. Make sure you don't roll your O-ring. Second one wants to roll. There we go. Now just clock it right. Loosen this band clamp a little bit. And now it'll rotate. Swing on over and hook up. Now let's go on the other side and go ahead and reattach that. Alright, boys and girls, so now we just simply, here's the new gasket. It goes in here. We're going to position it as best as we can. Put the gasket in and put it down. One bolt. Second bolt. Third bolt. And then the fourth. It went in tight, but that's to be expected. It came out that way as well. You can also push this O-ring in. It may have came out on this side. It may have came out a little when I was trying to take the other side apart. Perfect. Now we're all done with that. Now with our torque wrench, we're going to tighten down this last clamp. That'll set the turbo snail, the intake snail, right down onto the cartridge perfectly. Each time you hit it, gets a little looser each time. See? Doesn't take a lot. Now to be sure, stick your hand in and spin the cartridge. It should spin nice and free. We'll give the turbo a spin. Make sure it's moving free. If at this point it doesn't spin free, it means you screwed up and probably destroyed a turbo in the process. I dabbed a little oil on here to help retain the O-ring. I put the O-ring in. You kind of have to walk it in a little. It doesn't just fall in. You have to walk it a little. There it is. Next we take our gasket, we set it on top of the turbo. Then we take this and we set it on top. Would you look at that? It doesn't go that way anymore, boys and girls. You fish it out around the bottom. That's new. And it doesn't reach. Oh man. It doesn't even come close. Okay, I look real dumb right now, don't I? Now this is where I start getting aggravated because, well, I need the truck tomorrow in the morning. So I don't have time to get the right tube. So we're going to have to make that a separate video, I suppose. So what we're going to do now is put the old tube back on. Hopefully that wasn't the problem. Considering that cartridge was really, really tight, I don't think the leak was actually out of that tube. I still think it was a problem in the cartridge itself. So we're going to take that back apart. I'm not happy about it, I'll tell you that. But whatever, I guess I should have double checked it. I feel pretty stupid now. Oh, and of course I get the wrong wrench. I guess I feel pretty stupid now. Oh well. Live and learn, right? It's alright. At least this isn't a hard job.